Hello, thank you for the opportunity to highlight some of the work that I'm most proud of for this year. So what you're looking at here is project-based learning through the launch cycle designed thinking framework from John Spencer. Um, Going into CDL in the fall last year, I was trying to come up with a universal design for learning that would be accessible online for students and allow them the opportunity to highlight their assets. And this is what I settled on. So I took John Spencer's framework and I turned it into a Google slide with clickable icons that walk the students through the project-based learning model. There is a clipboard with a pencil here, so when they click on that, it opens up a Google Doc that is a step-by-step checklist walking them through each phase of the cycle. The contract is where they would start, and this will give them the opportunity to really set roles for each other in the team and responsibilities within the team, and then they would sign the contract as an agreement with one another. Then they would begin the process. So look, learn, listen is where they're going to create some background knowledge, and I'm going to provide information about the project and the problem that they're trying to solve. Then they would walk into ask tons of questions. So this is where they really get to wonder and ask questions about the project and the problem that they're trying to solve. Then they would walk into understanding the process of the problem. And again, this is an extension of asking tons of questions, but it goes deeper to where they're developing their understanding of what it is they're trying to solve. And each one of these icons in the process is a Google Doc that they would turn into Google Classroom. Step 4 is navigating ideas. So this is where they get together and brainstorm and really think about how they could solve it and what product they might want to develop to present a solution to the problem. And this could be a physical product, or it could be an activity or an organization or a movement that they're designing. And they can use multiple modes to present. So they could use, any kind of technology. They could use audio files. They could use podcasts, websites, games. A lot of my kids are into designing games, so they would be able to present their understanding through their whatever they were interested in. Then in step 5, they would physically create the prototype, whether it's a physical thing or a technological piece. Then they will move into highlight and fix, where not only would they critique their product, but they would get together with another team and they would present and then receive feedback so that they could revise and improve their product before they launch to an authentic audience. So this would be an audience outside of the classroom, outside of just their teachers, outside of just their peers. It could be other staff in the building. It could be the school board. It could be members of the community, city council, to really feel like their ideas would be valuable outside of just a classroom. And the Jamboard is another tool that they would use throughout the process, and also Padlet, which is where they could ask and answer questions. I found that some of it was kind of difficult online because there were technological barriers. Many kids didn't know how to use Google Suites, so I found myself teaching a lot of that process along with the mathematical skills that went along with it. And I used open source tools for math to provide the learning of the skills that went along with each step of the process. I also used a framework and developed rubrics for critiquing, and the kids would critique themselves, and they would also critique their teams and have a conversation with me for the final assessment on a rubric and a Google form that was designed from historically responsive literacy framework from Goldie Muhammad in Cultivating Genius, which incorporated identity and skills as well as intellect and criticality. Thank you for the opportunity.